The reunion, the high school reunion, was at one of those ridiculously expensive steakhouses with leather chairs and menus that don't list prices. I was late, stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic on the interstate. When I finally walked up to the private room, I heard the voice of Jessica Reed, our class's former it girl, holding court. Ethan Miller? He's in his late 20s and still single. He's definitely still obsessed with me. A wave of sycophantic laughter. I heard he's a manager in Chicago now. I guess tonight, I'll finally give him a shot. Then, her voice got louder, directed at a server. Hey, can we get a bottle of Macallan 18 for everyone to take home? And bring us 18 orders of a lobster with black truffle. The most expensive thing on the menu. Put it all on Ethan Miller's tab. The room erupted in cheers for Jessica's generosity. I didn't even hesitate. I turned around, walked out of the restaurant, and pulled out my phone to post in our alumni Facebook group. Hey guys, something urgent came up with a project proposal. I have to pull an all-nighter. Sorry to miss the reunion. 1. On the drive back to my apartment, my phone blew up. The Northwood High Class of 15 group chat was a nonstop barrage of notifications. When I got home, I opened my phone to over 30 tags and mentions. Ethan, what the hell? You're the class president and you just bailed on our reunion. Is this how you repay Mrs. Davison for all her mentorship? Get back here and pay the bill. I scoffed. I didn't need a thing. Why am I paying? The person who ordered should pay. Before the angry replies could flood in, I left the group chat. My phone kept vibrating. A DM from an old classmate, Kevin Johnson. Dude, I saw you at the door. Why'd you just leave? You're the most successful one in our class. You want us to get stuck with this bill instead of you. I typed back. So being successful means I have to pay for everyone? What kind of messed up logic is that? Kevin, come on, man. Don't be like that with Jessica. She's just a girl. She doesn't know better. Can't you be the bigger person? Just come back and pay the tab. Me, not happening. Kevin, what's your problem? The manager is getting pissed. Are you trying to embarrass all of us? So much for being a responsible class president. You show up late and don't even have the decency to apologize, and now you're just ghosting us? I stopped replying and put my phone on silent. I could still hear their voices from inside that room. Everyone eat up. It's an honor for a low IQ loser like Ethan Miller to foot the bill for me. Jessica had declared, yeah, let's only order the most expensive stuff. 15 orders of the Caspian caviar, and 10 of the French truffle lobster. If we can't finish it, we'll take it to go. How else can he show his love for me if he doesn't bleed a little, right? This is what he gets for being late. The whole room was kissing up to her, acting as if I was just some pathetic dog at her feet. I did hear one person ask quietly, Ethan's not even here yet. Isn't this a little much? Jessica's voice had turned sharp and ugly. What are you talking about? It's a privilege for him if I leave him to scraps. The class president is supposed to serve the class. And if he doesn't pay up tonight, you can bet Jessica Reed will never accept his advances again. Someone immediately chimed in to support her. Yeah, that's what he gets for being president. And if he wants to date our former prom queen, he's got to pay the price. How can he prove he really loves our queen if he's not willing to spend big? Jessica's not an easy girl to get. After hearing all that, how could I possibly walk in there calmly? My original plan, knowing I was late, was to go in, apologize, buy a round of shots to smooth things over, and then quietly pick up the check at the end of the night. But what man could listen to that kind of humiliation and take it? Just then, my phone rang. It was Jake Peters. Ethan, what's going on, man? Your girl is here, and you're still messing with some stupid work proposal. Jessica's already had a few tequila shots. You better get over here and calm her down before she gets really mad. Have you forgotten how crazy you were about her in high school? I let out a cold laugh. That was a long time ago, Jake. People move on. This proposal is due tonight. Hearing that, Jake exploded. Fine. Fine. Then just Venmo the money to Jessica right now, so she can pay the bill. Everyone's waiting. I was genuinely confused. I already told you, I'm not coming. Why would I send money? Jake's voice jumped an octave. You're not going to pay? So you feel like your old classmates get humiliated? Ethan, I can't believe you're this kind of person. I sneered. Jake, I was standing outside the door. I heard everything Jessica said about me. If you have any respect for our old friendship, you'll stop harassing me. I hung up immediately. Then I called the restaurant, explained the situation, and asked them to save the security camera footage from the hallway. Just in case. 2. The next morning, the first thing I saw when I opened my eyes was a call from my mom. I answered quickly. Her frantic voice came through the speaker. "Honey, your girlfriend is here with her whole family. They're saying you owe them money and won't pay it back. We didn't raise you to be a deadbeat. They're all in the living room right now, saying they want to talk about the money and the wedding. Why didn't you tell us things were this serious? We weren't prepared for any of this, and they just showed up." I was stunned. "Mom, I don't have a girlfriend, and I definitely don't owe anyone money." "Okay, just try to keep them calm. I'm on my way home right now to handle this." After reassuring my mom, I jumped in my car and sped toward my parents' house. Of course, that's when Jessica decided to call. "Ethan, I knew you couldn't wait to see me. Transfer me $7,000 right now, and maybe I'll consider not embarrassing you in front of your mother. Otherwise, don't blame me for what happens next. And by the way, why is your family so poor? You make all that money in Chicago, and you can't even fix the road to your neighborhood?" The potholes were murder on my car. I clenched my jaw, forcing myself to stay calm for my parents' sake. "Just wait. I'm driving. We'll talk when I get there." I pulled up the feed from my parents' Ring camera on my phone. Jessica and her family were sprawled all over the living room, furniture like they owned the place. Her parents were bossing my mom and dad around with an air of superiority. "You know, Frank," her dad said to mine, "this floor color is really tacky. You should have Ethan replace it with some high-end marble." Jessica's mom scoffed at her husband. "If he's replacing anything, it'll be for our Cody's house, not theirs." Jessica put on a grand, benevolent act. "He'll do both. In fact, he'll buy my baby brother a whole new house. The renovation, the furniture, Ethan will handle all of it. Don't you worry, Cody. You'll have your new house soon enough." Her brother, Cody, lit up. "Thanks, Jess. You're the best. When I get married, I'll have my wife treat you like a queen." He then casually spit a mouthful of sunflower seed shells onto the floor and pointed at my little sister. "Hey, you. Clean that up." A white-hot rage shot through me. I burst through the front door. Jessica's family all turned to look at me with contempt. Jessica herself leaped up from the couch, grabbed a heavy glass ashtray, and hurled it at my head. "Ethan, are you even a man? If you don't give me that money today, you're not walking out of this house." I dodged the ashtray and pushed my family behind me. I grabbed the baseball bat I brought in from my car. "I don't owe you a dime. If you don't get out of my house right now, you'll be dealing with this bat." Seeing me dead serious, Jessica froze. She couldn't believe that the lapdog who used to follow her everywhere was fighting back. "What is your problem? Did you forget what you promised me in high school? Now that you've made it big, you think you can just dump me? Do you have any idea how embarrassing it was for me at the restaurant last night when you didn't pay? All our classmates were watching." She pulled the receipt from her purse and slammed it on the coffee table. $7,000. That's the price you pay for being late. If you don't pay up today, you can forget about ever having a chance with me again. I laughed in her face. "Jessica, what fantasy world are you living in? I didn't eat. Why should I pay? And your pathetic love? I wouldn't want it if you gift-wrapped it." Just then, the front door flew open. It was the police. "Who called 911? An officer asked. I pointed at Jessica and her family. "I did. This family is trespassing, attempting to extort me, and have intentionally damaged my property. They have caused severe emotional distress to my family." I handed my phone with the security footage queued up to the officer. His expression darkened as he watched. "All right, let's take everyone down to the station to get their statements." At the police station, Jessica was still throwing a tantrum. "What did I do wrong? I was just trying to get the money he owes me." The officer looked at her sternly. "Ma'am, if he owes you money, you take him to civil court. Forcibly entering someone's home has serious consequences. He has every right to press charges." Hearing that, Jessica's family panicked. They immediately started begging us to drop the matter and not press charges. Jessica's parents ran over to my mom and dad, crying. "Our son, he's our precious boy. He's going to be a big-shot businessman someday. His record can't have an arrest on it because of some stupid mistake. It'll ruin his future. Please, we're begging you, forgive us. It was all this worthless girl's idea. We had nothing to do with it." Seeing them grovel, my parents' soft hearts gave in. They agreed not to press charges. The moment we stepped out of the station, Jessica's demeanor flipped. She glared at me with pure hatred. "Ethan Miller, you embarrassed me today. If you don't give me that money, I'm going to go live on TikTok and destroy you. I have tens of thousands of followers. If you don't want to be exposed, you'll do the smart thing. And 7,000 isn't enough anymore. Now it's 10,000. I felt like I was listening to the world's most ridiculous joke. Jessica, let me make this perfectly clear. I'm not giving you 1 single cent. You better back off, because if I can have you brought in once, I can do it again. 3. Back at home, I closed my eyes, but all I could see was Jessica's vicious, grasping face superimposed over the sweet, smiling girl I remembered from high school. Back then, she was the undisputed queen of our school. We were desk partners. She was always smiling at me, and whenever she got stuck on a problem, she'd ask for my help with a shy look in her eyes. Ethan, how do you solve this one? Can you teach me, please? You're the only one who explains it, so I can understand. I think you're the smartest boy in our class. As a teenage boy who already had a crush on her, I was defenseless. I didn't just give up my free time to tutor her. I made detailed study guides for her. For 3 years, I brought her breakfast every single morning. It started because she told me, with tears in her eyes, that her family was too poor to afford breakfast for her. Even during summer and winter breaks, I find excuses to bring groceries and snacks to her house. I was terrified she was being neglected, that she wasn't getting enough to eat. I'll never forget the way she looked at me one day, her eyes full of emotion. Ethan, you're so good to me. Let's start dating as soon as we graduate. My heart pounded in my chest. I just nodded, too flustered to speak. The turning point came the summer after graduation. I'd saved up for months to buy a small gold ring. I went to her house, my heart full of hope, ready to confess my feelings and give her the surprise of her life. But when I got to her front door, I saw her walking out hand in hand with the rich kid from our class. I forgot all about my pride and ran up to them, grabbing her arm. You said we'd be together after graduation. How could you do this to me? Did our promise mean nothing to you? She ripped her hand away, her eyes filled with disgust. She killed my entire youth with just 4 words. We were just friends. After that, we lost contact. Things changed again right after I was promoted to manager at my company. I came home to celebrate with some friends. One of them gave Jessica my number, and she added me on WhatsApp. She told me this long, sob story about how hard things had been back then, how her family was poor, and she only got with a rich kid out of desperation. She swore she still had feelings for me, but was forced by her circumstances to say those hurtful words. And like an idiot, hearing the sincerity in her voice, I was moved. I started sending her money, a few hundred here, 1,000 there. I just wanted to help her get through a tough time. But that reunion, seeing her ugly, entitled, true self, shattered the image of the goddess I had in my head. And when she and her family invaded my home, any lingering sentiment I had for our past was obliterated. I couldn't believe she still thought I was the same naive fool whose feelings she could toy with for cash. I went back to my life and my job in Chicago. I thought the whole mess with Jessica was finally over, until I was scrolling through TikTok and her account popped up on my For You page. In a video, she looked pale and exhausted, her eyes hollow with some sad, dramatic music playing in the background. She was telling her version of the story. I knew he was going to be at the reunion, and I wanted to be with him, she said, her voice trembling. But he didn't even show up. He blew off our friends who were trying to set us up, and he cursed out everyone who tried to talk to him. He also owes me $7,000. I took my family to his house to try and apologize, to make things right, but he called the cops on me. The police investigated and let me go immediately when they realized the truth. Then his little sister started harassing me, calling me all sorts of names. I'm just a woman who wants to be loved. Why are they doing this to me? The video then cut to her parents hugging her and comforting her. Her mother, who had been so vile in person, was now a different character entirely. She wept for the camera. My poor daughter. She got too close to that boy in high school, and her grades slipped. That's why she didn't get into a good college. She's been depressed for years, and now that she was finally starting to feel better, this happens. Ethan Miller is an ungrateful snake. He's two-faced. My daughter's life is just so hard. To make things worse, Jessica posted screenshots of her old chat logs, cherry-picking innocent messages where I'd asked how she was doing and twisting them to look like I was pathetically pursuing her and couldn't take a hint. But the worst part, the part that made my blood run cold, was that she had gone to my sister's high school. She posted a video of their confrontation. The camera was focused entirely on my sister's face, while Jessica's was conveniently kept out of the frame. In the video, you could see my sister see Jessica and immediately try to back away. "My brother does not owe you any money," my sister said, her voice strong. "You're a vicious liar, and all you do is slander my brother. Leave us alone. My family hates you. Please, just stay out of our lives." My sister was defending me with everything she had. But Jessica played the victim for her audience. "I'm sorry," she whimpered. "It's all my fault. I shouldn't have let him play with my heart. I'm just too trusting. I shouldn't have asked for the money that was rightfully mine. Please forgive me. Just tell me where he is. I really need to find him." Jessica's Oscar-worthy performance, combined with some clever video editing, transformed a clip of my sister bravely standing up for me into a video of a vicious little sister threatening a poor, innocent victim. All of Jessica's lies were now being presented as evidence of her suffering. Seeing my sister being bullied like that, I felt a sharp, physical pain in my chest. Ethan. My colleague, Alex, tapped me on the shoulder, pulling me back to reality. "The boss wants to see you in his office." He didn't look happy. "Watch yourself." I knew what this was about. I got up and walked to his office. The room was a mess. Papers were scattered everywhere. My boss swept a pile of files off his desk with a furious gesture. "Ethan, this personal drama of yours is causing major problems for the company. Someone who can't manage their private life has no business being a manager here. You're fired. Effective immediately." I tried to argue. "Sir, this isn't my fault. I'm going to deal with this right now. I've been with this company for 5 years. I was here from the beginning. I worked my tail off. You can't just fire me over some baseless online rumors." My boss dropped the pretense. "Look, Ethan, the company is stable now. Why would I pay a manager with a bachelor's degree 6 figures when I can hire some kid with a master's from an Ivy League for half the price? There are tons of highly educated people out there desperate for a job. I could find someone better than you for half the cost. If you leave quietly now, I'll let you go with some dignity. Otherwise, don't blame me for getting my hands dirty." He picked up a set of executive desk toys, some polished chrome balls, and looked at me with disdain. I understood his unspoken threat. "Fine. Fine. You want me to go? I'll go. But you'll pay my full severance package, N+1, and have it wired to my account. Then I'm gone." He laughed like I just told him the funniest joke in the world. "Severance? You've damaged the company's reputation. I should be suing you. You have a nerve to ask me for money? You're delusional." Seeing that he wouldn't budge, I stormed out of his office. I quickly packed my desk, completed my exit paperwork with HR, and started the long drive back to my hometown. When I pulled up to my parents' house, I saw that the lawn was littered with funeral wreaths and smashed, rotten eggs. A small crowd of people were standing on the sidewalk, pointing and yelling. "See that? That's the house where the deadbeat son lives. That poor girl is online, crying her eyes out, and he's still hiding like a coward. I don't know how you raise kids to be such ungrateful snakes. I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree." I shouted at them. "Get the hell off my property before I call the cops." 6. I opened the door to find my parents sitting on the couch, their hands trembling as they tried to reply to hateful comments on their phones. A wave of guilt washed over me. They were in their 60s. They shouldn't have to go through this because of me. "Mom, Dad, don't worry about any of this. I'll handle it." My mother looked at me, her eyes filled with tears. "Honey, forget about us for a minute. You need to go to the high school and get your sister. Bring her home. We'll figure this out as a family. As long as we're all together and safe, that's all that matters." I nodded repeatedly, helped my parents into their bedroom, and told them to lock the door. Then I got back in my car and drove to the high school. When I got there, I saw her. Jessica, dressed in a tight white dress, holding her phone up on a selfie stick. She was live streaming. She was spewing her usual fake story, full of manufactured tears. "Hey everyone, this is the high school where the sister of that deadbeat, that monster, goes. I have to find his sister because he's disappeared. Because of that $7,000 he owes me. I can't even afford to buy food. Meanwhile, he's hiding somewhere, living the good life. Does anyone think this is fair? Is this what a decent human being does?" I saw gifts and donations pop up on her screen, and her face broke into a greedy smile. "Thank you, Big Daddy Mike, for the rocket. I love you, Mike Moi. Whoa, Chris, you're so generous. A whole universe. When his sister gets out of school, I'll show you guys how to teach an ungrateful little brat a lesson. As soon as the final bell rang and my sister walked out of the building, Jessica and a group of hired goons surrounded her. A dozen phones were pointed at my sister's face. It was a planned, public cyberbullying event. I sprinted across the parking lot, knocked the phone out of Jessica's hand, and threw my jacket over my sister's head. I pulled my sister into a hug with one arm and pointed at Jessica with the other. This is illegal harassment. It's cyberbullying. Jessica, are you insane? I have nothing to do with you. You are breaking the law by slandering me and my family. I screamed at her, but she was completely unfazed. She picked up her phone and aimed the camera right at my face. God, you talk so much. It's so annoying. Look, everyone, here he is. The deadbeat cheater himself finally decided to show his face. For every kiss gift, I'll slap him across the face. How about that? We're in a new era of strong women. We don't let men like this get away with anything. She turned to the thugs she'd brought with her. What are you guys waiting for? Grab him. The men, seeing the money rolling in on our live stream, didn't hesitate. They tackled me, pinning both me and my sister to the ground. There were too many of them. I couldn't fight back. 7. Jessica was giddy, watching the gifts pile up in her live stream, waiting for the right moment to start her attack. 3, 2, 1. The squeal of tires filled the air as 3 police cars screeched into the parking lot, sirens blazing. Thankfully, I had called 911 on my way over, timing it just right. The officer who got out was the same one from the other day. He saw Jessica's crew holding me down and immediately took command. All individuals involved in this illegal activity, cease your actions immediately. I am placing you under arrest by law. Within 3 minutes, the situation was under control. Jessica and her thugs were handcuffed and put in the back of the squad cars. I helped my shaken sister up, and we got into another police car to go to the station and file a report. At the station, I handed over every piece of evidence I had collected. The threatening text messages from Jessica, the audio and video from the restaurant, the security footage from my parents' house showing her trespassing and her family's abusive behavior, and evidence that she had doxed my family by posting our address online. Officer, I want to press charges to the fullest extent of the law. She has severely impacted the safety and well-being of my entire family. The officer reviewed the mountain of evidence. It was an open and shut case. Jessica was detained pending a court hearing. But it wasn't over. When we got home, the online harassment was still in full swing. Some of her followers were even camping out near my sister's school, trying to live stream for clout. I called my old friend from college, Leo Carter, who is now a lawyer. Leo, I need to hire you for a case. I sent him everything, the full story, every piece of evidence. After getting his confirmation that we had a strong case, I created a new social media account. 8. I recorded a single, comprehensive video to clear my name. The title was, My Family is Being Cyberbullied by a Delusional Stalker. In the video, I didn't cry or play the victim. I calmly presented the evidence in 3 parts. Part 1 was the full, unedited security footage from the restaurant, showing exactly how Jessica planned to humiliate me and run up a massive bill in my name. Part 2 was a complete log of her text messages to me, every unhinged threat, every demand for money, every vile curse. Part 3 was the security camera footage from my parents' house, showing her and her family's appalling behavior in its full, ugly glory. At the end of the video, I announced that I was suing Jessica Reed for extortion, defamation, and harassment, and I was also suing several of the large social media accounts that had amplified her lies. I showed a copy of the official cease and desist letters that had been sent out that day. After my lawyer reviewed the video, we posted it. I paid to boost it and make sure it spread across the platform. The comments section immediately exploded. The tide turned instantly. Whoa. So this Jessica chick is completely unhinged. Damn, I feel like an idiot for defending her. Sorry, bro. She's a master manipulator, twisting everything, using her followers to attack a private citizen. Classic grifter. I'm with the guy above. She wanted her old classmate to pay a $7,000 bill for a meal he didn't even eat? That's insane. And ordering all that expensive Macallan and lobster? The audacity is off the charts. Her innocent girl persona is completely fake. This woman is a professional con artist. After seeing my video, the owner of the steakhouse contacted me. He wanted to join me in suing Jessica. It turned out that when Jessica couldn't pay the bill, the other classmates had all Venmo'd her their share of the cost. But that still left a shortfall of over $8,000. So she took all the money her classmates sent her and snuck out through the bathroom window. The owner had been trying to call her for days with no luck. When he contacted the other classmates, they all showed him their Venmo receipts and refused to pay a second time. He had filed a police report, and the police had given him the contact information for Jessica's parents. He called them, but they were busy trying to raise money for their son's future. When they heard Jessica was in debt, they were disgusted. Get lost. Why should we have to pay for that deadbeat daughter's mistakes? We're trying to save up for our Cody's future here. What bad luck, Jessica's mother had said before hanging up on him. 9. The next morning, my phone started ringing off the hook. It was my old boss. I answered, annoyed. Ethan, what did you do? Several of our major clients have pulled their projects. The company is about to go under. Did you sabotage us? You're such a petty person. You need to come back here and fix this. Are you going to just sit back and watch the company we worked so hard to build fall apart? His whining was incessant. I was getting a headache. You fired me, remember? Your company's problems are not my concern. If your projects are falling through, it means your team isn't good enough. That has nothing to do with me. Realizing that yelling wasn't working, my boss softened his tone, trying to sound friendly. Look, Ethan, I know you're just upset because I let you go, right? How about this? You come back, I'll give you your old salary, and if you land the projects, I'll give you a $200 bonus. Your manager position is still waiting for you. How does that sound? Don't be ungrateful. No one else will look out for you like I do. I'm a good guy, you know that. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Wow, the old carrot and stick routine. You're a real pro at that. Then my voice turned to ice. But I'm not interested. My resignation is final. If you bother me again, it won't just be a few projects you lose. My boss couldn't maintain his facade any longer. Ethan, you are a backstabbing, ungrateful punk. I was the one who gave you a job when you were at your lowest point, and now you leave and try to ruin my business? Do you have any idea how easy it would be for me to have you blacklisted in this industry? I just shook my head. When I graduated, I had 3 job offers on the table. The only reason I chose his tiny startup was because he seemed so sincere at the time. And now, in his version of history, he had saved me from rock bottom. Some people you just can't help. I hung up the phone, got dressed, and drove to the office of my old company's biggest rival. It was almost comical. The day I was fired, the CEO of the rival company called me 3 times, begging me to come work for him. He went on and on about my skills and how much he respected my work. He offered me a general manager position, triple my old salary. I accepted without hesitation. After all, you can only grow if you're at a company that's actually going somewhere. 10. On the day of the trial, Jessica looked like a ghost. Her eyes were empty, her hair was a mess. There was no family there to support her, and she hadn't even hired a lawyer. When she saw us walk in, she burst into tears. She kept apologizing to me over and over. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done it. Please, just give me one more chance to turn my life around. I'm only in my 20s. I don't want to go to prison. Please, I'm begging you. For the sake of our old friendship, please forgive me this one time. I was just brainwashed by all that strong, independent woman stuff online. You used to say you loved me, remember? If you just forgive me, we could be together right now. I really can't go to prison. I watched her performance without a shred of emotion. I said only one thing to her. Jessica, you brought all of this on yourself. Then I turned and handed my evidence to the bailiff. After reviewing all the facts, the judge delivered the verdict. The judge announced, Jessica Reed, you have been found guilty of criminal trespass, intentional destruction of property, extortion, defamation, slander, and illegal dissemination of private citizen information. Considering all charges, this court sentences you to 6 years in prison. You are also ordered to pay Ethan Miller $35,000 in compensatory damages for emotional distress and lost wages, and to Mulsanne Steakhouse $7,000 for the unpaid bill. As the sentence was read, Jessica's face went slack with shock, and her body began to tremble uncontrollably. It was only then that her parents finally showed up, but they offered no comfort, only a torrent of abuse. You worthless piece of trash, Jessica. If you hadn't caused all this trouble, your brother wouldn't be having such a hard time finding a wife. The matchmaker won't even show us pictures anymore once she hears he has a sister in jail. My poor Cody, such a wonderful young man, and you've ruined his life. When you get out, you'll be too old to get married. How am I supposed to get money for your brother's future now? Her mother started hitting her right there in the courtroom. Her father, who is usually quiet, was now spitting with rage. I should have never raised you. If it wasn't for you, my son would be married by now. Your stupid scheme ruined his chances of becoming a big-shot businessman. Jessica looked at her cold, uncaring parents. She opened her mouth to say something, but then closed it. She just lowered her head and let the bailiffs lead her away. 11. A week after I started at the new company, I heard some interesting news. The new MBA grad my old boss had hired saw the company was sinking and bailed. Before he left, he poached the last 2 competent tech guys. All that was left was my old boss, trying to manage a dumpster fire by himself. And since he was one of those guys who only knew how to give orders, not how to do any actual work, the company was doomed. He had no choice but to start calling me again, begging me to come back. His old arrogance was gone, replaced by a pathetic desperation. Ethan, you know this company is my family's entire legacy. If it fails, we'll lose everything. We won't be able to survive. I've never begged anyone for anything in my life, but I'm begging you now, bro. Please come back. The company can't make it without you. I turn it down every time. The last time I saw him was on the news, on the top of a skyscraper downtown. His company's funding had dried up completely. Most of his employees had quit. Even his wife had left him, taking their son with her and running off with someone else. He was left all alone, millions of dollars in debt. He couldn't handle it. He jumped. Meanwhile, at my new company, I quickly established myself, thanks to the trust of my old clients who followed me. One day, during my lunch break, I got a call from my old classmate, Kevin Johnson. His voice was full of false sincerity. Hey, class president, I just wanted to call and apologize. What I did back then was wrong. I heard that Jessica Reed and her family got what they deserved. My parents told me they had to sell their house to pay the court judgments. Her brother just took off, left his old parents to fend for themselves. They've been collecting cans in the neighborhood to survive. The old lady got her leg broken trying to shoplift a while back. They couldn't afford to treat it, and she died a few weeks ago. I listened, feeling absolutely nothing. I just gave a non-committal and waited for him to get to the real point. Sensing my coldness, Kevin pressed on shamelessly. So, Mr. President, I heard your new company has a project that our company is bidding on. I was wondering if you could, do me a favor. Maybe we could discuss the project privately? Our company has put a lot of work into our proposal. You know how it is. I've got a family to feed, a mortgage. This project could be what turns things around for me. I wouldn't be asking if I wasn't desperate. I answered him in a flat, corporate tone. Your company is on the short list. The final decision will be announced in due course. I hung up. Then I opened my laptop and removed his company from the list of candidates. I'm not a saint. I don't forgive and forget that easily. 12. A few years later, I was married. My wife and I had a lovely daughter. We named her Claire. My wife is a wonderful, kind woman who always wanted my parents to come live with us. But they were set in their ways and loved their old home. So, my wife and I made sure to take them on vacation every holiday. And Claire always spent her summer and winter breaks with her grandparents. My sister graduated from college and married a man she truly loves. One day, after coming back from my parents' house, Claire ran up to me, bubbling with excitement, and said she had discovered a big secret about me. I played along, guessing what it could be, but I couldn't figure it out. Claire puffed out her chest, trying to look mysterious. I saw a lady on the street collecting cans, and she looked so sad. I told Grandma I felt sorry for her, and Grandma told me that lady was one of Daddy's old flames. She said the lady got out of prison and her mind isn't right anymore. She wanders around all day calling your name, telling everyone she's your wife. She asks every single person she sees if they know where you are. I nodded slowly and looked at my daughter. And what do you think about that, sweetie? Claire looked at me with a serious, righteous expression. That you should stay far away from that bad lady. She made mistakes, and she has to pay for them. I don't feel sorry for her at all. You praised her for her wisdom. My wife has raised her well. Being a do-gooder with no boundaries won't get you far in this world. I hope my daughter's life is as bright and clear as her name, and that her future is full of promise.